Freedom versus welfare, a debate at the heart of the RV homelessness crisis. Can government programs really provide a safe haven without stripping away autonomy? Or are these free parking spaces just another way to control the most vulnerable? Today, we'll explore the hard truths and tough choices behind this growing issue. Let's get rolling. Today's housing crisis is forcing more Americans than ever to live in RVs.
A new government report estimates a record number of Americans are experiencing homelessness.
Can you be held criminally liable for a scenario that you can't avoid, i.e. living in an area where there aren't any other options other than living on the streets?
Out of 600,000 people experiencing homelessness nationwide, nearly a third of those in urban areas are living in vehicles, mostly RVs. This isn't just about numbers on a page, it's about working people who can't afford traditional housing anymore. The situation in major cities tells a troubling story. In Los Angeles, where average rent tops $2,800 monthly, about 25,000 people have turned to living in vehicles. Portland and San Diego face similar challenges, with vehicle homelessness jumping 35% in just 2 years.
30 to 50% of people who are unsheltered in Seattle live in vehicles. That can be anywhere between 3,000 to potentially up to 5,000 people. It's hard to say because, like most point-in-time counts, they're a bare minimum estimate.
Daily expenses keep climbing too. Utility bills are 20% higher than 5 years ago, but wages haven't kept up. Some organizations are trying to help. Safe Parking LA converts empty lots into safe spaces for RV residents, complete with bathrooms and waste disposal. Their approach works. 1 in 4 participants eventually finds permanent housing. But these programs can't keep up with demand. There simply aren't enough spaces for everyone who needs them. These numbers paint a clear picture. Our housing system is failing many Americans. People with steady jobs, teachers, retail workers, service industry employees, are finding themselves priced out of traditional housing. Without quick action to create more affordable housing and expand programs like Safe Parking LA, more people will have no choice but to turn to RVs as their last option for keeping a roof over their heads. The message is clear. This crisis isn't slowing down. We need immediate solutions to help those living in RVs now while working on long-term fixes to make housing affordable again. Cities are trying to help, but their efforts often fall short. Take Seattle, for example. They offer just 40 official parking spaces for about 2,500 RV residents. This huge gap means most people have no choice but to park in areas that aren't set up for RV living, leading to problems for everyone involved. Local shops see fewer customers, neighborhoods worry about trash and sanitation, and RV residents struggle to find safe places to stay. Some cities have created special parking zones with bathrooms and waste disposal, which helps in the short term.
People who are homeless in Encinitas will have a safe place to park for a few more years.
But these programs are like putting a Band-Aid on a broken arm. They might help with immediate problems, but they don't fix the underlying issue. The real solution requires tackling bigger challenges, housing costs that keep climbing while wages stay flat, and a severe shortage of affordable homes. Until these fundamental problems are addressed, more people will likely turn to RVs as their only option for keeping a roof over their heads. This isn't just about helping people living in RVs. It's about fixing a housing system that's pushing more Americans to the edge every year. Without meaningful change, we'll likely see even more people forced to choose between unaffordable housing and life in an RV. While social media might show young couples living the van life dream, the reality of RV living is usually quite different. For most people, moving into an RV isn't about adventure or freedom. It's about finding an affordable place to live in an increasingly expensive world. Many RV residents are our everyday neighbors, teachers who can't afford rent near their schools, service workers priced out of their neighborhoods, or retirees stretching fixed incomes. They work regular jobs, pay taxes, and contribute to their communities just like anyone else. The only difference is that their home has wheels. When people complain about RVs in their neighborhoods, they often blame the residents for issues like improper waste disposal or parking problems. But these challenges usually stem from a lack of proper facilities and support, not from people's choices. Most RV residents would gladly use designated dump stations and parking areas if they existed and were accessible. The truth is, RV living represents a creative solution to the housing crisis. Instead of seeing RV residents as outsiders or problems, We need to recognize them as community members adapting to tough circumstances. Many of us are just one rent increase or medical emergency away from making similar choices. Understanding this reality helps break down harmful stereotypes. These aren't people choosing a carefree lifestyle, they're neighbors trying to maintain stability and dignity in challenging times. Supporting them means creating more resources and fewer restrictions, acknowledging that housing security affects us all. While stigma creates barriers to empathy and support, the rising trend of RV living poses even greater risks for communities if left unaddressed. As housing becomes increasingly unaffordable, more people are turning to RVs as a last resort. Without better solutions, this trend will only accelerate, creating challenges that affect entire communities. The most immediate concern is the continuing rise in homelessness.
The federal government reports that there has been a double-digit jump in American homelessness compared to last year, and an even bigger jump among families.
As rent and home prices climb faster than wages, more families and individuals will find themselves unable to afford traditional housing. RVs might seem like a temporary solution, but without proper support systems, people can get trapped in a cycle of instability. Environmental problems are also building. When RV residents can't access proper facilities for waste disposal, they're often forced to make difficult choices that can harm local environments. Without designated dump stations or trash collection, sewage and garbage can end up in places that threaten public health and contaminate water supplies. The situation is creating tension in communities. Neighborhoods are divided between housed residents and those living in RVs, leading to conflicts and mistrust. Local businesses suffer when areas become unwelcoming, and property owners worry about declining values. This tension makes it even harder to find solutions that work for everyone. Perhaps most concerning is how the lack of good options pushes people into dangerous situations. Without safe legal places to park, RV residents might end up in isolated areas where they're vulnerable to crime or face fines they can't afford to pay. The solution requires immediate action, creating more affordable housing, designating safe parking areas, and providing basic services like waste disposal. Waiting only makes these problems harder and more expensive to fix. Communities that act now can prevent bigger problems while helping their most vulnerable members find stability. Government parking programs for RVs offer both help and headaches. While they provide essential safety and services, their strict rules can sometimes create new problems for the people they're trying to help. These programs do offer important benefits. Safe, well-lit parking areas with security features protect residents from crime and harassment. Access to basic services like waste disposal, water, and sometimes showers makes daily life more manageable and hygienic. Having a reliable place to park can help parents keep their kids in school and make it easier for adults to maintain jobs or look for work. However, the rules that come with these programs can be challenging. Many require residents to move every few days or weeks, which disrupts the very stability these programs aim to provide. Strict curfews and limits on visitors can make it hard for people working irregular hours or wanting to maintain social connections. The constant presence of security cameras and patrols while keeping people safe can feel like an invasion of privacy. For example, a night shift worker might struggle with curfew requirements, or a parent might find it difficult to host their child's friend for a homework session due to visitor restrictions. These rules can make residents feel more like they're in an institution than in their own home. Finding a better balance is crucial. Programs could offer different levels of structure, from basic parking spots with minimal rules to more comprehensive support for those who want it. This flexibility would help preserve the independence that makes RV living work for many people while still providing the safety and services they need. While government programs try to help people living in RVs, local communities are often finding better ways to offer support. Small organizations, churches, and businesses are creating flexible solutions that work better than one-size-fits-all government programs. Safe Parking LA shows how effective local initiatives can be. They partner with property owners to turn unused parking lots into welcoming spaces for RV residents. Beyond just providing a place to park, they offer bathrooms, waste disposal, and help connecting with other services. Because they're community-run, they can adjust quickly to meet people's needs without getting tangled in red tape. Churches have become important partners too. Many don't just offer parking spaces, they create mini communities where RV residents can find food, counseling, and help finding jobs. This personal touch helps people feel welcomed rather than just managed. Even businesses are part of the solution. National chains like Walmart and Cracker Barrel allow overnight parking in many locations, providing reliable options for people who need a safe place to stay. If more businesses joined in, it could greatly increase the number of safe parking spots available. What makes these community efforts work so well is their ability to adapt. By staying small and working directly with RV residents, they can solve specific problems that bigger programs might miss. However, these programs need steady support to keep running, including funding, volunteers, and cooperation between different local groups. The success of these initiatives shows that sometimes the most effective help comes from neighbors working together rather than large government programs. Here's a balanced look at the complex challenges communities face with RV living. Finding middle ground, communities and RV housing. As more people turn to RVs for housing, communities are struggling to balance different needs and concerns. While everyone wants to help neighbors in need, the practical challenges of RV parking create real tensions in many neighborhoods. Homeowners worry about property values dropping and increased problems with trash or sanitation when RVs park nearby. Local shops often see fewer customers in areas with unregulated RV parking, hurting their business. These concerns shouldn't be dismissed. They affect people's livelihoods and investments. However, harsh responses like fines or towing usually make things worse, not better. When RVs are forced to move, residents often end up in more dangerous situations, cut off from jobs, schools, and support systems. This can push people into crisis, making it even harder for them to regain stability. The solution lies in finding ways to help both RV residents and the broader community. This might mean creating designated parking areas with proper facilities, including both housed residents and RV dwellers in planning discussions. Building partnerships between cities, nonprofits, and neighborhood groups. Developing clear guidelines that protect everyone's interests. While there's no perfect answer, communities that approach this challenge with both compassion and practical thinking often find better solutions. Success means creating policies that help RV residents maintain dignity and stability while addressing neighborhood concerns about safety and livability. The goal isn't just to solve immediate problems, but to build stronger, more inclusive communities for everyone. City-run parking programs for RVs offer important help like safe spaces and basic services, but their strict rules can create unexpected problems for the people living there. One of the biggest issues is having to move frequently. Most programs only let RVs stay in one spot for 3 to 14 days. This constant movement makes it nearly impossible for parents to keep their kids in the same school or for workers to hold down steady jobs. Just when someone starts to feel stable, they have to pack up and find a new spot. Daily life comes with many restrictions too. There are usually strict quiet hours, limits on visitors, and rules about what you can do outside your RV. While these rules try to keep everyone safe and happy, they can make life especially hard for people working night shifts or those who need support from family and friends. The security measures, while meant to protect residents, can feel overwhelming. Most programs use cameras and security patrols to watch the area. For people who chose RV living because they wanted more freedom, this constant monitoring can feel like trading one set of restrictions for another. All this creates a tough choice. Accept help, but give up independence, or keep your freedom, but lose access to basic services. A better approach might be offering different levels of support, from basic parking spots with minimal rules to more structured programs for those who want additional help. This way, people could get the assistance they need while still maintaining their dignity and independence. Freedom versus welfare isn't just a debate, it's a reality for thousands of RV dwellers every day. To understand how these policies affect their lives, don't miss our next video, The Unbelievable Rule That's Destroying the RV Community. How would you balance freedom and stability? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video valuable, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always part of these essential conversations. Thanks for watching and safe travels.